Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 20th of March 2023 and looks like the first quarter of 2023 is definitely going to end on a positive note for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general as well. Now last week guys and the week before that, the banking industry in US and other parts of the world are definitely on the verge of collapse, and because of that, Google trends for the term banking crisis did reach a new all-time high. Definitely not ideal for the fintech world. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore that in today's episode. Now, one of the massive giants called as BlackRock, they have taken a positive outlook for digital assets as well. And what happens is Larry Fink, he sends out a letter to all CEOs of the world, but this time he has sent out a letter to its investors, and this letter is in the filings with Security Exchange Commission. Now, in that letter, he's definitely mentioned about digital assets, and he's also mentioned some really important information for India, Africa, and has compared that to America. So we'll definitely go and explore that in today's episode. And look guys, if you're in the world of DeFi Llama is a website you would definitely be looking at in order to check information regarding DeFi protocols, but looks like there is some drama going on in the world of decentralized finance, and the website DeFi Llama is having a fork. So we'll go ahead and explain what the notorious activity is going on in the world of DeFi Llama. So as of now, there are two websites. One is DeFiLlama.com and just Llama.com. And mind you guys, both of them have double L. And if you look at both the website, both the data is 100% identical. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore that in today's episode. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee 88 podcast, I'm going to be discussing two news regarding UAE. And both the news are to do with events that I'm conducting on the 6th of April. And the first one is Metaverse, the Hyper-Reality and New World Order. And the second one is special hour analysis on Bitcoin. And listen guys, if you're doing your masters, you would know what special hour analysis stands for. So it is essentially political, economical, social, technological, legal, environmental, and religious analysis on Bitcoin. And guys, I tend to do this session every month because it does gives a very comprehensive idea of what is going on in the world of Bitcoin. And this special hour analysis can be done, let's say, on Metaverse, on stablecoins, absolutely on everything. So in today's episode, I'll go ahead and explain what is it that you can expect on the session that I'm conducting on the 6th of April. So quite a lot to cover in today's episode. So let's get started with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee 88, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and Metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE, and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee 88 has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. We'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee 88. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee 88, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain, and the Metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee 88, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain, and the Metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE, and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE, and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee 88 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE, and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Firstly, guys, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race-Pace Podcast. So check out the Race-Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race-Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you're taking care of that, let's look at the global cryptocurrency market. Now listen, guys, since the collapse of the bank, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have definitely pumped up to the moon. Does this mean that Bitcoin is proving to be a safe haven? At this point of time, it's too early to tell because the prices of Bitcoin is definitely less than half of its all-time high. Now, as of today, the global cryptocurrency market is at $1.16 trillion, and since the last 24 hours, though, it has marginally gone up by 0.10%. The total crypto market volume over the last 24 hours is $71.53 billion. Definitely not the best numbers, but definitely much better than 2022 and 2023. Now, since the last 24 hours, it is up by 16.80%. The total volume of DeFi gas has once again gone down at $6.66 billion. And later on in the episode, we'll definitely go on and talk about some drama regarding DeFi. Now, as of today, the total value locked is $48.35 billion. And guys, towards the start of this year, I did actually state, I'm really curious to check when the total value locked in DeFi does cross the $50 billion mark. Now, it did cross the $50 billion mark, but looks like it lasted only for a few days. Ideally, the total value locked should definitely hover well over the $100 billion range. So I'm looking at least $120 to $140 billion range. And that again, guys, is not an all-time high for DeFi protocols. The total value locked in DeFi was well over the $200 billion mark. So as of now, DeFi is less than 1/4 of its all-time high. And Lido gas is still dominating with 21.57%. And so far as this total value locked is concerned, it is $10.43 billion. Now DeFi still accounts for 9.31%. And MakerDAO is number 2 so far as total value locked is concerned at $7.68 billion. Aave at number 3 at $5.58 billion, and Curve Finance at $4.44 billion, and finally Uniswap at $3.74 billion. Now, guys, could it be possible using artificial intelligence to create a DeFi system which is managed 100% only by artificial intelligence? I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, if that thing works out probably in the next 6 months or maybe even less. Considering the fact how ChatGPT is working and with GPT-4, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens much quicker than that as well. Now, the volume of stablecoins is ridiculously low, and it does account for a lesser percentage than, let's say, 95%, which I particularly like because look guys, when you talk about stablecoins, ideally they should not be providing a safe haven in times of financial crisis or like the banking financial crisis that we're facing right now, or during inflation or during war. It should either be Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies and DeFi protocols. That is exactly why Bitcoin is created. Because when you talk about stablecoins, there is a central entity such as the stablecoin issuer that can easily censor your transactions, and stablecoins definitely do not follow the ethos of open blockchain. Now, the volume of stablecoins is $61.67 billion, and it still accounts for 86.22% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now, the reason I like this number is because overall the global cryptocurrency market is definitely doing much better than, let's say, 2022 and probably even the start of 2023 as well. Tether USDT is still accounting for a majority of the chunk with $49.26 billion, Circle USDC at $4.59 billion, and Binance BUSD at $7.40 billion. Now, the volume of stablecoins is still ridiculously high, and I'm really hoping probably in the next 3 to 5 years, the volume of stablecoins accounts for a lesser percentage of the total cryptocurrency market volume, somewhere in the range of maybe $30 to $50 billion. And ideally by that time, DeFi does pick up a lot of pace. Now let's look at the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now Bitcoin has crossed the $500 billion mark, and as of today, the market cap of Bitcoin is $531 billion. Ethereum is well below the 50% mark of Bitcoin's market cap at $215 billion. The 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin is $41.6 billion, and $10.25 billion is the 24-hour trading volume of Ethereum. Now look guys, what is really great about today's matrix is the dominance of Bitcoin is definitely picking up pace. As of today, it is 45.93%. I really am hoping it crosses 46%, probably by the end of the day, and Ethereum is at 18.60%. Now listen guys, in the next few days, Jerome Powell will be announcing the interest rate hike. Now could it be possible that these numbers will drastically change? I definitely do think so, but I'm not too confident that the numbers will change, because right now what the world is facing is a financial crisis, particularly in the banking industry. And if Jerome Powell were to announce the interest rate hike, it'll have absolutely devastating consequences. So let's wait and see what Jerome Powell does on the 22nd of this month. Now in today's episode guys, I'm going to be looking at the market cap of privacy coins and smart contracting platforms. Now Monero is clearly a leader, and the market cap is $2.78 billion, followed by Mask Network at $431 million and Zcash at $405 million. Now look guys, we talk so much about privacy, we talk so much about cryptocurrency being the biggest revolution, we talk about self-sovereign identity. Unfortunately, if that were the case, privacy coins should be leading the pack. If you look at the market cap, these are just ridiculously low volumes and rookie numbers. We talk so much about, having privacy and that banking industry should not be in control of our money. If that were the case, Monero or Zcash should have been 20 times much higher than what it is. Now, what I definitely feel that people who talk about privacy are just using it as a marketing tool in order to promote their own crypto coins or tokens. What are your thoughts? Do you agree to it or disagree? Mention them in the comments below. Now, if you look at the smart contracting platform, Ethereum is definitely leading the pack with $215 billion. Binance BNB's market cap is pumped up at $53.03 billion. But guys, if you look at Binance BUSD's market cap, it is still on the verge of decline. And this is something CZ did mention via his tweet a few days ago. And this was because of the drama going on between Paxos, Coinbase, and the SEC exchange. Now, Cardano's market cap is at $11.78 billion. Now, guys, let's discuss the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. Now, as of today, it is at $27,527. Now, I'm really hoping that when Jerome Powell announces the interest rate hike, after 3 to 5 hours, the prices of Bitcoin might just cross the $30,000 mark. But once again, guys, all price predictions are 100% right 50% of the time. Speaking of price predictions, I'm going to be discussing a really funny price prediction regarding Bitcoin. And Coinbase's former chief technology officer is having a very strong bet that the price of Bitcoin will be $1 million in the next 90 days. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore that in today's episode. Now, since the last 24 hours, Bitcoin is up by 1.18%. Since the last 7 days, it is up by 22.66%. Ethereum is at $1,757. But since the last 24 hours, it is down by 1.43%. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 9.58%. Binance Coin is at $335. Since the last 24 hours, it is up by 0.74%. But since the last 7 days, it is up by 11.17%. Now look guys, if you're someone who's living in the United States of America, the Google trend that is trending right now is banking crisis, and this guys is definitely not ideal. Now you need to remember that Bitcoin started as a movement towards separation of money and the state. But when that separation happens, I really am not sure. It might take a decade or maybe a couple of decades. In the meantime, there is financial crisis or banking crisis going on, particularly in US and also in Switzerland, which we are going to touch base in the next few minutes. Now, on March 13, 2023, the search term banking crisis did actually skyrocket along with bank runs, and it reached a Google trend score of 100. And this purely happened because of troubles in the financial world, where Silicon Valley Bank got belly up, Signature Bank got liquidated, and guys, this goes back to Bitcoin's very first message. So when Satoshi Nakamoto did his very first transaction, he did have a very strong message encrypted on the Genesis block. This was 14 years ago, and that message actually stated, "The Times, the 3rd of Jan 2009, Chancellor on the brink of the second bailout for banks." Now mind you guys, this message is directed to the Chancellor of the Bank of England. So could it be possible that Satoshi Nakamoto might be someone from England? What are your thoughts? Mention them in the comments below. Now right now, particularly in the US, what the world is facing is a fallout from the second largest banking collapse in US history. Now because of that, the prices of Bitcoin is definitely pumped up. And along with that guys, one particular coin called as Conflux is up by 126.68%. Now I did try to look at coin market cap, and what it says is that Conflux is a high throughput first layer consensus blockchain that utilizes a unique tree graph consensus algorithm, enabling the parallel processing of blocks and transactions for increased throughput and scalability. But you need to understand what the blockchain trilemma problem is. Are they compromising on centralization? And what CoinMarketCap says about Conflux is they are the only regulatory compliant public and permissionless blockchain in China, and Conflux provides a unique advantage for projects building and expanding into Asia, connecting decentralized economies to strengthen the global DeFi ecosystem. And they claim to be the infrastructure for global token economy, and Conflux enables creators, communities, and markets to connect across borders and protocols. Now, to be honest, guys, I'm extremely wary about this particular news. Now, it has definitely bumped up to the moon since the last 7 days. I wouldn't be surprised in the next few days it definitely falls down. Now, the prices of Bitcoin are definitely bumping up, and Coinbase's former CTO, that is Balaji Srinivasan, has predicted that Bitcoin will reach $1 million within 90 days, and the reasoning he is given is because of hyperinflation in the United States. Now look guys, historically, none of the price predictions have ever come true. The founder of McAfee, that is John McAfee, did actually predict that the price of Bitcoin would touch $1 million by 2020. If it does not happen, he did promise something notorious of eating one of his body parts live on TV, but unfortunately, the prices was nowhere close to even $100,000 by then. Tim Draper from Draper Labs, he had also predicted that the price $250,000 by the year in 2022. It wasn't even close to what he predicted. Now, Balaji Srinivasan is definitely an OG in the world of Bitcoin, but so far as price predictions are concerned, guys, all price predictions are 100% right, 50% of the time. Now, he did put up like a tweet, and it is kind of like a bet, and Richard Hart has definitely taken the bet. Now, the tweet that Balaji Srinivasan has put out discusses his plan to invest $2 million in USDC to prove a point about Bitcoin. Now, he believes that hyper-Bitcoinization will occur, which means the world will redominate on Bitcoin as digital gold, and Bitcoin will become the dominant currency. And Balaji Srinivasan predicted that once individuals, firms, and large funds start buying Bitcoin, sovereigns and countries will follow suit, leading to a rapid increase in Bitcoin's value. Now, he also warns that the digital devaluation of the dollar is coming and will happen quickly, and this might catch many people off guard. Now, mind you guys, when the FTX actually collapsed, a lot of the Bitcoin maximalists did actually state that the prices of Bitcoin will pump up to the room because the reasoning that they gave is that average individuals will be aware of the dangers of centralization and the dangers caused by a central entity such as Sam Bankman-Fried. Unfortunately, the prices continue to go down. Now, what are your thoughts on the bet? Do you think the price of Bitcoin will touch $1 million in the next 90 days? 100% do not think so. And there are quite a lot of people who have agreed on the bet, so it looks like someone is definitely going to bank in $1 million. Now, follow the tweet, and if you do have the money to go out and challenge him, you can definitely do that because I believe he has created an escrow account and the details are open publicly for everyone to verify it. Now listen guys, the financial crisis is not only happening in the US. One of the Swiss banking giant called Credit Suisse, they have gone completely belly up as well. And Reuters reported a few days ago that Swiss authorities may impose losses on Credit Suisse bondholders, but a UBS takeover of Credit Suisse before financial markets open this Monday is definitely possible. Now, some of the news guys that I'm telling you right now happened on Friday and Saturday, and this has definitely changed yesterday. And Bloomberg also published a report that states that Switzerland waives full or partial Credit Suisse nationalization, and they updated that same report later, which states the Swiss bank has offered UBS Group AG around $100 billion in liquidity to help it take on the operation of Credit Suisse Group AG. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? What kind of an impact will this have on other bank? And guys, Cointelegraph has just reported a few hours ago that UBS Group agrees to $3.25 billion emergency rescue plan of Credit Suisse. Swiss authorities agreed to change the country's regulation to bypass a shareholder vote and announce the deal over the weekend. Now listen guys, this is a drama that happened over the weekend. And Nouriel Roubini, also called as Dr. Doom, he had a short interview on Bloomberg TV, which I believe is roughly around 7 minutes long, where he also shared his opinions and thoughts, and he gave his reasoning as to why there was a systemic financial losses for a bank. Unfortunately, guys, where does Bitcoin fit into all this thing? Because the news articles describe a developing situation regarding Credit Suisse, a major Swiss bank that has been struggling with a number of issues, including financial losses related to the involvement with collapsed hedge fund Arceus Capital Management and its exposure to Greensill Capital, a now bankrupt supply chain finance firm. Now, according to these articles, guys, Swiss authorities are currently considering several options to rescue Credit Suisse from its financial difficulties, including imposing losses on the bank's bank holders and potentially even nationalizing the bank. The one possible outcome is takeover of Credit Suisse by UBS, another major Swiss bank, which is said to be offering $1 billion for Credit Suisse. All the Credit Suisse reportedly believes this offer is too low. But listen guys, there are more complexities involved in such a takeover, including issues related to, let's say, government backstop, or even possible legal and other losses. And guys, what happened a few hours ago is Swiss authorities agreed to change the country's regulation to bypass a shareholder vote and announce the deal over the weekend ahead of the market opening today, that is 20th of November. And now the UBS Group has agreed to buy Credit Suisse for $3.25 billion as part of an emergency audience to prevent financial market stability. And the Swiss Bank National also committed to providing $100 billion in liquidity to UBS part of the deal. Now listen guys, it is worth noting that these stories are still developing and the situation may change rapidly. Now if you look at it guys, because there is a central entity involved, they were able to make this decision in less than 24 hours. Imagine if this were to happen in Bitcoin. Unfortunately, there is absolutely no one to help. Now we talk about peer-to-peer electronic cash system, but centralization, unfortunately in these circumstances, do have a lot of advantages, but granted over a period of time, and with new cryptography methods, with better hashing algorithm, we might be able to sort out some way where decentralized nature or decentralized form of finance is much better for centralized finance. But what happens in calamities or in situation, let's say like Terra Luna or FTX? Because I was watching an interview a few days ago which actually did state the entire FTX did actually go down just because of few tweets by CZ, and that is 100% right. That's how delicate a decentralized form of finance actually is. Now let's discuss something from BlackRock, and the CEO of BlackRock, that is Larry Fink, in his annual chairman's letter to investors, shared developments that are happening in the digital asset space. Now he did have an official filing with the Security Exchange Commission. Now in that letter, he stressed that the US is lagging behind in innovation, leaving the cost of payments much higher, Whereas in countries, let's say like in India, Brazil, and parts of Africa, are actually witnessing dramatic advances in digital payments, bringing down costs and advancing financial inclusion. Now, I'm not sure if you dig further if you find some more information regarding Tether USDT, because if you look at the volume since the last 1 year or so, Tether USDT has been used particularly a lot more in India, Brazil, and Africa as well. So really, I'm not sure if his point is only towards stable coins or general towards cryptocurrency market. Now, the letter also mentions the need for regulations in the cryptocurrency space. Now, listen, guys, Bitcoin magazine was supposed to be managed by Bitcoin OGs and maximalists have provided misleading and incorrect information. So go to the tweet, you'll understand what I'm talking about. They put across this letter by Larry Fink, which is available in SEC filings, as though he's in favor of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Definitely not true. So what I'd recommend you to do is read through the letter by Larry Fink and then read through the tweet that Bitcoin magazine has posted. Definitely misleading and incorrect tweet. Now guys, let's discuss some drama between DeFi Llama, and the DeFi Llama team is forking DeFi Llama website. And guys, I tend to look at this data on a daily basis, and I've been doing that ever since it launched. Now what happened is that there was an internal dispute, a disagreement over the launch of Llama token. The Llama token has double L, so there's L for Larry, A for Alpha, M for Mother, A for Alpha token, which led core employees to fork the DeFi Llama blockchain on March 19th. Now apparently, guys, the person who controls both DeFi Llama's Twitter account and domain has decided to launch despite everybody in the team not wanting it. So it looks like there is only one person, but this one person seems to be crucial because he manages DeFi Llama's Twitter account and looks like he also owns the domain name of DeFi Llama as well. So at this point of time, when I'm looking at both the website that is llama.fi and defilama.com, the numbers are absolutely 100% identical. Now, based on the research and information, looks like there should not be any fork and the original website should be defilama.com. But as and when the news develops, I'll definitely go and update and try to give out more information. Now, guys, let's discuss two news regarding UAE. And guys, what I tend to do is every month, I tend to have a session on Metaverse because there's so much of hype, there's so much of fake news and incorrect information. So what I tend to do is every month I have a session on Metaverse where I discuss the hype, the reality, and new world order. And this session takes place on the 6th of April 2023 from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Gulf Standard Time. So what I want to do is I want to understand what the hype is, and I'll go ahead and explain what is Metaverse and the impact Metaverse will have in the next coming years. I'll also go ahead and explain institutions and companies joining up on board, and we'll go ahead and explore the expectation of Metaverse versus reality. And look, guys, one thing which I often say is just switching current existing systems onto Metaverse will definitely not cut it. There needs to be at least a 10x better improvement in order for people to start using Metaverse. So we'll also discuss the hardware and software limitations currently in Metaverse, the real-life use cases, and quite a lot of other. And I'll also go ahead and explore the New World Order. And in the New World Order, will the United States of America have a competitive edge, or will Saudi Arabia have a competitive edge in the Metaverse? And look, guys, I do have a Metaverse Everything podcast that I release every Friday, and one episode is dedicated only to Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, so please check it out. And I'll also go ahead and share what is it that countries can do in order to be an early adopter in the Metaverse. So essentially, the session is broken down into three parts. In part A, we discuss the history of Metaverse, what is Metaverse, the hype of Metaverse, the hardware and software in the Metaverse. In part B is something where we discuss where Bitcoin and blockchain merges with Metaverse, so areas where Metaverse merges with physical world, and do we need blockchain in the Metaverse? And we'll also go ahead and explore the top blockchain platforms that are connected to Metaverse. So we'll go ahead and explain Decentraland, we will look at the sandbox, we'll also look at do we actually require blockchain in the Metaverse. And one thing, guys, you truly need to understand what the blockchain trilemma problem is and the limitations of blockchain. We'll also go ahead and explore NFT's use case in the Metaverse and artificial intelligence-enabled NFT and quite a lot more. And in part C, guys, we'll discuss Dubai Metaverse strategy. And look, guys, one of the goals of Sheikh Hamdan is to be the top 10 city in the world so far as Metaverse is concerned. And we also have a legal governing body, that is Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, which is located in Dubai World Trade Center. We'll also discuss the Dubai Metaverse Assembly. We'll also go ahead and explore ways you can network in Dubai, particularly in Metaverse, and quite a lot more. So this session is completely free of cost. And listen guys, if you do want to sponsor this event, or if you have a startup and if you want to pitch that event, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com. Now the next session guys is one of my favorites. It's called a special hour analysis on Bitcoin, and we go and explore political, economical, social, technological, legal, environmental, and religious analysis on Bitcoin and vice versa. I once again guys do this session every month, and every month guys new information and data is updated so far as special hour is concerned. So this session takes place on the 6th of April between 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Gulf Standard Time. And guys, if you have done your Masters or MBA, you would know what a special hour analysis is. It is essentially a tool used to gain a macro level picture of an industry or an environment, and it allows a company, individual, or governments to form an impression of the factors that might impact a new business or industry. So in this session, we break down elements of Bitcoin at a macro level to understand its impact and vice versa. So we go ahead and explore each area in detail. So when you talk about politics, we answer this very basic question: is Bitcoin apolitical? And listen guys, Bitcoin was created as a movement towards separation of money and the state. And does politics and politicians have an impact on the price of Bitcoin? So we'll go ahead and look at what right-wing politicians have in say for Bitcoin, what left-wing politicians have in say for Bitcoin. In UK, we look at what the Conservative Party has regarding Bitcoin, what the Labour Party has regarding Bitcoin, and quite a lot more. Now, regarding economical factors are concerned, we will go ahead and discuss: is Bitcoin the global wealth redistribution system? And in today's episode, we discussed where the former CTO of Coinbase, that is Balaji Srinivasan, is betting the price of Bitcoin to reach $1 million by 90 days. Now, if that thing happens, people who have bought Bitcoin recently will definitely be benefited by it. And does it account for global wealth redistribution? Now, since he claims that we are facing hyper-Bitcoinization, can Bitcoin change the dynamics of money? We'll go ahead and explore inflation, exchange rates, and quite a lot of other. Now, regarding social factors are concerned, we will look at social impact of Bitcoin on blockchain for generations to come. We'll also go ahead and explore Bitcoin's usage in first world versus underdeveloped countries. And in today's episode, guys, I did talk about Larry Fink's letter, where he made a very big differentiation between use of digital assets in India, Brazil, and Africa, and compared that to US. And we'll also go ahead and explore: are millennials the one or boomers the one who are using Bitcoin? And regarding technological factors are concerned, we would look at Bitcoin forks and the different forks that have happened in Bitcoin. And recently, guys, there is so much hype about NFTs on Bitcoin. So we'll very briefly look at ordinals or NFTs on blockchain as well. We'll also look at economies of scale for setting up mining operations and some more technological factors regarding Bitcoin. Now, regarding legal factors are concerned, we'll ask this very basic question: is Bitcoin legal? Where does governance, regulations, and legislations fit in? And what can governments do to support innovation and Bitcoin adoption? Now, regarding environmental factors are concerned, we will look at Bitcoin mining energy consumption, the whole ESG hype. We would look at the past, current, and the future state or environmental impact of Bitcoin mining. And finally, guys, religious analysis on Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin Sharia compliant? And what are the religious factors in commonality in Bitcoin? And how is Bitcoin seen in the Middle East? Now, in Dubai right now, there is Ramadan starting in the next few days. And guys, if you do want to stay ahead of the curve, Dr. Saifuddin Amos, he has a few episodes explaining religious factors and its connection to Bitcoin. So I would definitely recommend to listen to his episodes. So the session, guys, is completely free of cost, and it's on 6th of April from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Gulf Standard Time. And guys, if you want to sponsor this event, if you're a startup or a business entity who wants to sponsor these events, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com. So that's all for today, guys, on the Crypto and Coffee Date from Blockchain DXP. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxp.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXP. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Lucy who asks, how will the increase in interest rate hike impact the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency? Now, as of Lucy, it is not clear if Jerome Powell will be increasing the interest rate hike. Now, based on what is going on right now, particularly in the banking industry, and even the inflation numbers were not higher than previous months, I wouldn't be surprised if Jerome Powell does not actually increase the interest rate hike. Now, the last interest rate hike was, I believe, 50 basis points. Now, keeping that thing in mind, I wouldn't be surprised, Lucy, if he does not actually increase the interest rate hike. Now, if that thing happens, I do feel that the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies will definitely be on the verge of an incline. But once again, Lucy, all price predictions are 100% right 50% of the time. Now, this also coincides with something which I mentioned earlier and the bet that Balaji Srinivasan, the former CTO of Coinbase, is having with reference to the price touching $1 million in the next 90 days. Now, hyperinflation is definitely taking place, but Lucy, because there is a centralized entity involved, it is possible to go ahead and manage these things much faster in case of Bitcoin and so-called distributed cryptocurrencies. Because there is no centralized entity, the community needs to decide, and one of the biggest drawbacks, or you could say the strength of a decentralized form of governance, is it takes a lot of time. So I really am not sure if the announcement of the interest rate hike will be having a negative impact per se on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But let's say, for instance, if Jerome Powell were to increase the interest rate hike, let's say by 75 basis points, then Lucy, I wouldn't be surprised if the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies 100% collapses. But again, not financial advice, and everything that I'm saying, particularly with reference to price predictions, you always need to remember none of the price predictions ever come true. So it's going to be really crucial what Jerome Powell does. And what I'd really recommend you to do is, Lucy, Jerome Powell will be going live via YouTube. Make sure that you attend his session directly from the first source so you truly understand what he's saying. That this one is going to be really critical because he's going to be explaining what has happened, particularly in the banking industry, and what kind of an impact that will happen, especially in the next coming months. I wouldn't be surprised, Lucy, that this second that he's having on the 22nd might just set the tone for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, at least towards the end of this year. So I'm definitely going to be listening to it, and I'll definitely have a follow-up episode probably on the 23rd, because I live in Dubai and the difference in time is at least 8 to 9 hours. So check out the episode on 23rd. And what I'd also recommend you to do is, Lucy, and this is something which I personally tend to do, is I look at the prices 3 to 4 hours before Jerome Powell is announcing the interest rate hike. I also watch it while he is live, and I also tend to watch it 3 to 4 hours after he has gone live. Now, what I've noticed is 3 to 4 hours after he has gone live is when the price tends to fluctuate. So keep an eye on that and make your own decision. So that's all for today, guys, in the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes of the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well. Use that as an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions from the cryptocurrency world. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.